It's on the chest. Just didn't get under it. Went into rack. Really low. Your power depletes really fast. I'm like almost laughing now because it's getting worse and worse. Atmosphere, it was just so cool to be. Hi guys, what's up? This is a little bit different, isn't it? I think the mic is on. I don't really know. It's been a while since I used it. So I'm just sitting here in my hotel room in Chicago. Got my diary and I'm doing me. Processing. So I'm actually just writing a few thoughts down for later on in this vlog. I've also got my laptop out right in front of me and I've got video footage of my events. So just kind of like a little chitty chatty review, which is my favourite kind of thing to do. Just chit chat. That's quite a nice light too. So first of all, I wanted to share with you, I don't know if this just keeps turning up like backwards. I think I tried to show you in another vlog. This book was given to me by Ashley, my sports masseuse, physiotherapist girl, before I left, and it's amazing. It's written by Oscar Chalupsky. I might be butchering that name and I'm really sorry if I am. It's called No Retreat, No Surrender. He is like a world-class athlete, and the book goes through different chapters of his life, how he achieved, how he overcame barriers and hurdles financially, sponsorships, losing competitions he wanted to win, starting a family, getting diagnosed with cancer, etc., etc. And after each chapter of his life written in the book, there are like lessons learnt. And I just found it really, really interesting how each lesson learnt through sports or through adversity, difficulty, challenges, then transferred later into life, and just how sports taught him so much that he is now sharing in the book, that people need to learn these lessons, and learning through sport is actually amazing. Obviously, the sport I'm currently doing is Strongwoman. The sport I've done before is bodybuilding or Muay Thai or MMA or gymnastics when I was a child. But learning the values that you can gain through sports and discipline and resilience, it's priceless. This is why everybody should be doing sports. Anyway, this book, if you're an athlete, 100% you need to read this. Even if you're not an athlete, if you're just like, everyone should just read it. It doesn't matter who you are. If you're vaguely interested in any sport, as a spectator, you should read the book. If you're somebody who thinks you're going through a hard time in life, read the book. Because it just puts a lot of things into perspective as well. It was amazing. So that's the book. I've also been watching, while I've been away, which I started on the flight over here, a program called This Is Us. It's on Netflix. Season 1 was on the Emirates Entertainment on the plane. Another really real program just about life, about how everybody is connected. Everybody has their own different struggles going on at the same time, and how your struggle is not more or less valid than somebody else's struggle, because it's all about context of that person's life. There was 18 episodes in season 1 and they were like 45, 50 minutes long. And I watched every single episode on the flight out here, like 15 hours worth of TV. I didn't sleep at all on the flight. And then I started watching season 2 on Netflix on my laptop while I've just been chilling in the hotels and stuff out here. So that's been really cool. Anyway, I want to dive straight now into my Arnold performance review. So we will be inserting videos into this video and I will be talking over how I think I did or didn't do. And yes, I am aware I'm wearing one weird clip in my hair, because this piece of hair, since I had my hair cut, I'm trying to train it to go this way and not this way. And really interesting for you right now. So I'm just trying to hold my head down to train it. Anyway, after my Arnold's review, I'm going to do a little bit of what's coming next in life, in lifting. I've had a lot of downtime, a lot of thinking time, a lot of alone time. It's been like way overdue and way needed. So I just thought I'd share. I don't really have solid answers, but I'll share some of my maybe this or maybe that. And you can let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and we're going to dive straight into this Arnold's performance review. Okay, let's get straight into this. So event 1 was the overhead medley. I was so excited for this event. I have really thoroughly enjoyed training overhead work for the last 6, 7, 8 months. Made heaps of progress with my overhead. My current log max is 77.5 kilos at like 63, 64 kilo body weight. That's quite impressive. Circus dumbbell is one of my favorite things to train and do. I just love it. I'm really good at it. It's great. Anyway, overhead medley on the day that actually mattered and counted. It was such a flop. Out of the 4 events I performed on the day, this is the one I'm most disappointed in. In fact, this is the only one I'm disappointed in because the rest actually kind of went as expected, if not better. This one didn't go as expected. It went significantly worse. If you have ever been around me in a competition, I'm sorry. Because my nerves are like contagious. If you've ever been around me when I'm in a great mood, you'll know how my energy just like vibrates and spreads, and I get comments about it all the time. Yeah, this happens regardless of what my energy vibe flow is. So when I'm nervous, fuck me, you're gonna know about it. Anya, I'm so sorry. She was obviously with me all week. Event 1, overhead medley. She was like, yeah, I'll film you and I'll help you and da-da-da-da. And afterwards she was like, wow, I nearly walked away and left you because your nerves were just like making me nervous. Because it's so much. My energy is so much and I can't contain it, whether it's happy, sad, angry, nervous, anxious, whatever. So we were lined up, ready to go. It was quite like a weird wait. Anyway, going into the warm-up, which was a lesson learned at this level of competing. I've seen people make reels about this on Instagram before, about how at this kind of level comp, you don't really get a warm-up, like a proper warm-up. All the kit was laid out on the competition floor. There was a weight class below mine, under 57 kg women, 125 pounds, I think. But their overhead medley was pretty much the same weights as my class. There was maybe 2 implements that were lighter, which was the keg. Maybe the dumbbell, I'm not really sure. So the equipment was set up for them. Still basically the same as mine, minus the 2 other implements. I'd done my mobility work. I'd done some stretching. I'd kind of like warmed my body up, found a spot for my bags. And then suddenly, like, I saw all the smaller girls walking onto the stage or like area. So I ran over because I felt like I was missing something. I didn't even have headphones in. I don't know what I had misheard. Ran over. Nobody else had heard anything either. They just all noticed like I did. And they were saying, okay, you can start warming up. But obviously you can't take weights off of implements that are set up for comp. We're warming up on the comp floor. So you're just warming up at comp weight, is my point. There's no slow gradual build up, like let's start at 30, 40, 50 kilos, 60 kilos, 70 kilos, and da-da-da-da. It's just like, bam, you're all kind of sharing, fighting for equipment. Equally trying to pace yourself. Like we've been told lifting started at 10 a.m. So keep looking at the clock. Like don't want to overdo it. Don't want to underdo it. Etc. etc. There was one log and one axle bar around the back where you could warm up. I did actually go and set that axle bar up, and I warmed up my axle up to 70 kilos, and it flew. It felt so good. I was like, okay, this is great. Axle's flying. Log is no problem. I warmed up on the lighter keg that had been set up, and I liked the size of the keg compared to what I had in training. Circus dumbbell. Oh, I picked up the circus dumbbell on the comp floor, and I pressed it. It was absolutely fine, stable, secure, but it did make my right bicep feel a bit, actually today, still a bit sore. It instantly made my right bicep feel a bit weird, and I think just because I didn't warm up gradually, I don't know. Anyway, it's a learning lesson, an experience. Anyway, so I'm going to play the video now on my laptop and talk through each bit as it comes. The nerves, da-da-da-da-da. Athlete come to the floor. Let's see. So I've played the video now, and I can see how nervous my face looks. Shitting myself. Okay, approach the log. Log rolled up fine, a little bit unsteady on my feet. Pressed, looked happy with that. Fine, climb over. Go to the sandbag. Now I pressed this exact same weight sandbag at Brits. No problem. And that was at the end of a medley. It didn't go, and I just like shrugged it off and walked on. I didn't want to get stressed over missing an implement when I knew I could get other implements. So I just thought, okay, fuck it, just move on. I went to the axle, and I'm just going to pause the video there. As I lifted the axle up off the floor, I actually peed myself a little bit. Not enough for it to go on the floor, but definitely in my pants. If you're a female athlete, you know what this is all about. I think it was a combination of trying to stay hydrated, being extremely fucking nervous. And I don't know, because it wasn't really that heavy, 75 kilos, but as it came off the floor onto my belt, and that was in my head then, got a bit flustered. Anyway, 70 kilo axle in warm up was fine. Now, back to the video. It's on the belt, it's on the chest. Just didn't get under it. It's all in here really, isn't it? All in my head. Circus dumbbell, moved on. Guaranteed, love a circus dumbbell. I'm really fucking good at this. I'm going to smash it. Up it went. Into rack. And I got it locked out, but I wasn't under it. I was behind it. My shoulder angle wasn't quite right. Kind of shook it off. Knew I had time for a second attempt. Hit the second attempt. I got it up. I thought I had it. It was a bit wobbly and my wrist was like moving around. I thought I had it. I looked at the judge for the down signal. He was not fucking giving it because I wasn't steady. You need to show control under the equipment. I didn't get it. So I was hoping for... Before I went to the comp, I said I would be happy with 3 out of the 6. I'd be very pleased with 4 out of the 6, and I'd be like ecstatic with 5 out of the 6. I knew I wasn't going to get the barbell and chain. That was like out of question. I got 1. And having checked the score sheets, if I'd have got 3 or 4 or 5 implements, it would not have put me in top 4 for finals, but it would have put me in like 5th or 6th place overall, which I guess is kind of what I was wanting overall. Anyway, that was overhead medley. I'm smiling at the end. I'm annoyed, but I'm smiling. It is what it is, you know. It's what you do on the day that counts. And I didn't do it. Okay, so, right, straight into event 2. Event 2 was the sandbag toss. We had the 11 kg bag and the 13 kg bag. It was going over a 3.6 meter bar, which is the same as what I train on in the gym, a 4 meter bar, which is what I did in China, and a 4.3 meter bar, which I did 4.2 meters in Brits. This was 4.3. In China, the bag weights were 7, 9, 11 and 13 kilos. In Brits, they were the same, 7, 9, 11 and 13. So 11 and 13 have been on my agenda before. I've never got the 13 over, not even the 3.6. I've been damn close, but I haven't got it. 11 has flown. 11 is inconsistent in training. I will be honest about that, but it has gone. So let's see. I'm going to play the video again and talk alongside. So coming out onto the floor, hand on the yoke to begin. Smiling. That's good. Straight into the 11 kilo bag, under the bar. Missed, but to be honest, it went up high enough, it just didn't go back. So I just knew I needed to hold onto the bag a split second longer. Second attempt was very similar, it was high enough, but it wasn't going back. Third attempt, it was over. Okay, fine. Then we move on to the 4 meter bar, which I should be able to do. It was close. It was like, it was hitting the 4 meter mark, but it needs to kind of go above that to go over, obviously. It's hitting right at the top of the bar. That was my 5th throw now. So if you know anything about bag tossing, 5 throws in and you're tired. Your power just, yeah, it's getting really low. Your power depletes really fast. I'm like almost laughing now because it's getting worse and worse. That was my 6th attempt. My face says it all. I was a bit higher than the attempt before. I think that's 7 attempts now. 8 attempts. Okay, it's the yeah, that's it. I'm calling it a day and okay, I'm walking off. I mean, I don't look too pissed. I'm kind of smiling and laughing. As I said, event 1 was the most disappointing because I expected better of myself. Event 2. Disappointed I am not, because that is, to be honest, exactly what's been happening in training. I have been training this event for about 6 to 7 months. I bought my bags in like June or July, started training in preparation for China and Brits. When I got the bag 6 months ago, I couldn't even get a 7 kilo over the bar. So to be honest, it's great progress, just not good enough for this competition. Just not strong enough yet. Yet being the key word. It's coming. Not pissed. It's coming. Okay. Event number 3 is squats for reps in 60 seconds. If you have been subscribed to my channel and following this journey along, you'll know that the squat setup was a bit mind-boggling. They weren't really very clear on it. This is not the kind of kit that you'll find really in, I guess, any gym. This was like specifically made for the competition. I think they used this last year and maybe the year before for Viking press, and they just adapted it and turned it into a squat setup. So the squat started at the bottom of the squat and you press upwards. We were using like a safety bar, transformer bar style over the shoulders. I quite liked that actually. It did feel like you're in a roller coaster. There were 2 weight options. So weight at the front of the equipment was, I think, 112 kilos. And the bar at the back was 142 point something kilos. Because you were closer to the load. So like the engineering of the lever and stuff like that, the closer you were to the load, the heavier it was. I had obviously been building a similar-ish setup in my gym, as similar as I could manage. And about 3 weeks before the comp, they released the heights and things. So because of the height that I am, my body, the machine was 34 inches from floor to bar. That's quite low. Anyway, I'm going to press play and talk you through this. In training, last year, 2023, I hit a 140 kilo safety bar box squat. That was my PB. In training for this event, I don't know, maybe 3-4 weeks out, I hit 165 kilos for reps on my setup, but honestly, I don't think the bar was low enough. I don't think my squat was deep enough at the beginning as it is here. All in all, my goal going into this was to hit 1 rep on the heavy one, because 1 week out of comp, I couldn't even get a 135 kilo squat. So 1 rep was what I wanted. I went straight in for the heavy. Let's see. Okay, video loading. Hand on equipment. So they said go before you got under. Once the time had started, you could get into the machine. Rep 1 went up. I mean, it looked hard, but it was fine. It went up. Rep 2, here we are. Shaky, 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 shaky. Absolute grinding that rep out. Took a few breaths at the top. That was a really hard rep, rep 2. That was attempt 1 for rep 3. Didn't go. Try again. It's not moving. Like, I couldn't even feel a millimeter of movement. I couldn't feel anything happening. That's like 3 or 4 attempts now that I've tried. Just squatting down, having a little breather. No, I'm just going to pause the video there. The MC in the red shirt was right behind me and I could hear everything he was saying. And lane 2, come on lane 2, find it, dig deep, da 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 da. There was nothing. My legs were finished. On a note of the MC, he was freaking insane. I actually went up to him at the end of Sunday and just said how incredible he was. As an ex-primary school teacher, I said to Anya, as an ex-primary school teacher, he would be the kind of child in class who would irritate the shit out of you because he just has something to say about everything. But as an MC at an event like this, that is talent and skill, and I really hope he was valued and appreciated for what he did. He could fill any moment of silence with talk, a very appropriate, very well judging the situation. If there was an accident, he was very able to divert attention. When athletes like myself in event 3 were struggling, he was able to really like get in there and kind of get into your head a bit. When I was competing, I thought he was great. When I was watching on the final day, I just thought he was brilliant. Anyway, so I finished attempting this squat, fell to the floor, smile on my face, unclipped my belt, rolled out of the machine. I do remember my legs feeling, just watching myself walk off. My legs did feel like complete jelly after that. Anyway, so that was event 3. I got 2 reps. I'm actually thrilled to bits with that. The girl that won in my category that event, she actually got 16 reps. And she just made it look like a piece of cake. Like it wasn't even a struggle for her. Okay, going to move on to event 4. Sandbag pick up and carry, load and sledge drag medley thing. There was a big weight. There was a lot of conversation here about, do we wear shoes, do we not wear shoes? In training, I'd been wearing my hiking boots for grip on the sledge. In the rules meeting on Friday night, they said you are not allowed to be bare feet, you must wear shoes. And then they changed it, and then it kept changing. It was all really weird. And then the first heat went out in shoes, and the floor was so slippery. You can probably see it actually like shining on the floor there in the video. There's chalk everywhere. It's just a fucking nightmare. So basically after heat 1, they said, get your shoes off, guys. Like everybody take your shoes off. Hence all the athletes were in bare feet. It was quite funny being there in the moment where everybody just whipped their shoes off. One girl, Hannah Fitzgerald from the UK, she was in heat 1. Picked up the sandbags, carried them, loaded them, started pulling the sledge, and her feet were just sliding all over the place. And I think she'd pulled the sledge about 1 meter, and her coach was in the audience, but close enough that she could see him and hear him. And he just said, take your shoes off. So she dropped the handle of the sledge, pulled her shoes and socks off, and continued and won the event, or completed the sledge drag anyway. So we're all here, shoes off, There'd been a long wait because the heat before mine, one of the guys had broken the sledge with loading the sandbag. If you've been subscribed and following along, you'll know that picking up the 80 sandbag, not a problem. Picking up the 90 sandbag has been an issue. Once I can get it up and get it in position, I can move quite fast with the sandbag. Loading it over the bar, which was set at 112 centimetres, has also been an issue because the bag is so big and I am so small. Anyway, let's see what happened. Pressing play. Loading. Okay, sandbag 80 kilo. I didn't quite get that first pickup. My hands weren't placed right. Flew with it once I had it. Over the red line, ran back. We didn't actually have to load the first bag in the end. 90 bag over. I was fucking determined to get this bag over the picked up. So first attempt I didn't pick it up. Moved my hand placement. Got one knee under the bag. Got the second knee under the bag. Pulled it in nice and tight to my chest. Started moving with it. Very happy. I'm looking at the bar in front of me. I think it's about this point I said, oh my God, there's no way I'm getting it over the bar. Squat down. Replaced the bag. Extended up. I'm on like the absolute tippy toes. I'm just going to pause it. You could see I was extended onto the absolute tippy toes. My glutes were squeezed. My hips were driven underneath. I was arched in the back. Maybe I could have leant back a bit more and used a bit more. I am only as tall as I am, and I'm never going to get any taller, and there's kind of nothing I can fucking do about that apart from get strong enough that I can get the bag up higher. That would be my only solution to an event like this going forwards. So ultimately, I just need to get stronger and better at sandbags. Okay, I went in for another turn. Shelley here from Owens Media is talking to me. She's like, come on, extend. You've got this, you've got this. So I went in for another pickup. I couldn't pick it up. I think I heard like the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ref gave me a handshake. And that was it. That was my 4 events done and dusted. So I came 9th overall. If my overhead had gone better, I could have placed better overall. I had a great experience. I met the coolest people. I'm going to insert some video footage here of me meeting strongman celebrities. Got to see my favourite Martins again. I met him in China and he is just a lovely man. So I saw him again at the Rogue booth. I saw Big Z at the SBD booth. I saw some other people. I can't... right now it's all a bit blurry. Anyway, I'm going to insert a few little things that happened. We went back on the next day and watched the finals. I think I have some footage from the finals that I'd also like to just slot in here for. Generally, just so you can hear the atmosphere. It was just so cool to be involved in something that big. The atmosphere is wild. The girls who came top 4 in my category were just insane. Like insane. That's no secret, but I think 1 or 2 of the girls that came top 4 did a huge weight cut into the category. So we had to weigh in under 140 pounds on weigh-in day, which, as I've said before, I do kind of sit around that on a daily basis anyway. I don't really want to gain any weight because I would end up looking a bit on the chubbier side, and I don't really want that. My journey obviously has been about weight loss. I was much smaller than I am now. I've gained weight in order to be stronger and do things like this and be healthier and more flexible in my life. However, a couple of these girls told me that they walk around 170 pounds and they cut 30 pounds in 2 weeks to make weight for this comp. They were very honest and very lovely about it, and they were also saying how they're going to move up a weight class. This potentially could be one of their last, if not their last comp they do at this weight category. So they were taller, bigger, had more mass, muscle mass, body mass, whatever you want to call it. And to be honest, just a lot more experience than me. One girl was telling me she's been competing in Strongwoman for 10 years. One girl was telling me that she came 7th at the Arnold's last year, and I think she came 2nd this year. She was just an absolute boss. Like girl crush. What else? Yeah, I mean, that's it. So I wanted to do a little chat about what happens next, but I think that's going to have to be in another video now because I'm looking at the timer. This is going on and I want to insert other footage. So if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. There'll be another video coming out about what happens now. What's next for Miss Scarlett Harvey. Drop me a like, give me a comment, let me know any thoughts and feedback, and catch you in the next one, guys. Stay tuned.